Namaste, friends. This is Elle with Sacred Union Spiritual Wellness. Okay, so I did the weekly forecast yesterday, and it says overall that we're going to have an amazing week. So we've got some supportive connections coming in. So I just want to do a quick reading for those of you I've seen letting go multiple times out of this deck. So let's find out what's going on today in the energy. I'm trying to get back to a little bit of a schedule. Yeah, it's been kind of crazy here the last couple of weeks, but it's all good. So things are kind of settling down just a bit. So let's get started. This is the Divine Abundance Oracle right there, and this is the Totally Zenned Out Journey Tarot, which is right there. So if these decks intrigue you, they resonate with you, you can see what they look like. All right, let's see what's coming in for the energies today. This is going to be an awesome week. We now have the Sun and Pluto in Aquarius. Feels good. Outrageous openness. I don't think I've pulled this card. Maybe one time before. Dear love, open me to your will. Release me from my attachments. Surprise and delight me with your plan. You know what's needed, and I am open to receive. This is about trusting, but it's also about just being open. Open from your heart center, but being open. And I'm hearing outspoken. This is outrageous openness, but it's almost like you're speaking your truth. It's, it's like outrageous openness, but it's also like you're not hiding anything anymore. You're totally being your authentic self. So that's what I'm getting from this energy. But it's almost like, you know what? It's so much fun when you just turn over everything to the divine and just let it sort things through. Surprise me. When you say surprise me to the universe, it means you trust. Individuality. Oh, there's a lot of birds in this. Every person has their own personalized study plan in the Earth School. So we have lots of birds and butterflies. So outrageous openness and individuality. This is being your authentic self. And some of us are being very outspoken about our authentic self right now because you're finally confident enough to express your authenticity. This works for me, this doesn't. I like this, I don't like this. I'm starting to kind of really speak your truth. And that's not always comfortable for everybody listening, but they'll get used to it. So speak your truth. All right, let's see what's going on. This is the tarot, and let's see. Individuality. Don't be afraid to shine your light because you're unique in the universe and your light is needed. Okay, I like that. Let's put these down here. I'm going to pull everything and then I'm going to interpret the energy for you. Okay, I see that anxiety piece that we saw yesterday. For some of us, speaking your authentic truth is very new. It may have been that you have felt like expressing your truth would push people away. So you just held everything back. And now it's like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. 10 of Swords. Okay. So the only card that we have in reverse, okay, 4 of Swords, we saw that yesterday too, is the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups is kind of the regrets of the past. And I think you've come to terms with that. And I think the reality is that everything that's happened was a lesson, it was a learning device, or it was meant to kind of steer you in a different direction. So it had a purpose. It was divinely orchestrated. Now, no one's perfect, and everybody has some twinges of regret of things in their past. However, I think we have resolved that. And I think that's when we moved into the new clear water of the fishbowl. We're like, you know what? That was a lower version of me. That was a different version of me. I've ascended since then. I've learned a lot. I've embraced my authenticity. So now I'm more authentic. So now this is not so much of a factor anymore. It's almost like, you've neutralized it. I'm getting a really neutralized energy. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords. Here, I'll show them to you. Nine of Pentacles. Look at that. It's almost like holding up a trophy. It's like holding up and accepting this is the manifestation of where I was then compared to where I am now. And now it's taken me a while to learn these lessons, but I'm seeing the productivity of it. Then we have that Nine of Swords. There's that anxiety piece we saw yesterday in the weekly forecast. There's some anxiety, and part of that anxiety, if I remember correctly, was letting go of some things that no longer serve you, that resonate, that are keeping you stuck in the old fishbowl or trying to pull you back into that old, cloudy, polluted, toxic water. So, and I know that for a fact, is that as soon as you get out into the clear fishbowl, it's like, we miss you, come back, and they try to pull you back in. You have to decide. Okay, so here's the Page of Swords. This is kind of like, okay, now I'm seeing clearly what it is that I learned. And I'm able to articulate that now. That I don't want to be in that old fishbowl. I like my new fishbowl. I think Christopher Witecki said it this week in his astrology forecast, that this week you're going to know who's going to go on the party bus of life with you. So if you don't know who Christopher Witecki is, look at Namaste Today, Serious Joy on YouTube, and he is a brilliant astrologer. And I always enjoy his astrology forecast for the coming week. But this is, you're going to know this week, you're going to know who's going to continue on with your journey. You may not be able to activate all of that until sometime in April and May, when things start to get a little turbulent. But until then, you're really starting to assess, is this really a relationship I want to move forward with? Is this really, even like kind of going through your closet, is this really the look I want? Is this really my authentic self? Is this expressing who I am? Does it fit the new version of me? Okay, so then we have the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords is, I'm not going back. I'm not going to, allow the way people used to treat me. I'm going to be a little more outspoken about, my self-worth and my self-love. Now, don't expect people to like that, because they're not gonna, especially if you have not really expressed your authentic self before. People are going to get really upset because they're comfortable knowing that they can, what they can expect from you. You're going to rock the boat a little bit when you start to be outspoken about your authentic self. But you aren't going back. And this Ten of Pentacles is, you're building now something for the long term. This is something that you're investing in yourself, your self-worth, new relationships, new surroundings. It might be that you decide a redesign or a wardrobe restructuring, or maybe a new look. There's something about, I'm willing to make a change here to express the new version of myself. Okay? So we have quite a few swords here. And I think it's uncomfortable. I think You're still trying to integrate this speaking your authentic truth, because there's a part of you that still feels like you're coming across as hostile. You're setting boundaries and you're not comfortable with that. You feel like, oh, people might not like that. Well, it's not up to them to like it. If they respect you, then they will respect your boundaries. Okay, let's pull a few more. Oh, on the bottom of the deck, Four of Swords. We saw that card yesterday. Taking time for self, taking time to integrate and be able to present the new version of you in a comfortable way. All right, let's see. Is there anything about connections that we need to know about? Okay. The Empress comes out in a challenged position. And the reason why is because this new version of you is still a little uncomfortable. You're still not used to being in a fishbowl that's less crowded and less toxic. So you're still trying to get used to your new self. Ace of Cups, that's funny because that was on the bottom right under the Four Swords. And that's what I was seeing when I see this shell coming through. I was just thinking Ace of Cups. So here it is, the Ace of Cups. This is a new way of feeling about yourself. And that attracts people who are going to, oh, look at that. There's the Chariot. That's a lively looking card. It's like almost a celebration, like I am so happy with this new version of myself. It is really moving you forward. And your connection, if you feel like you're in a deep soul connection, which many of you feel like you are, and that's why you watch tarot readings, it's almost like, you know, having this new sense of self-worth, this new version of yourself, the outspoken version of yourself who's speaking their authentic truth. It's like, okay, I feel like I'm in alignment. And when you're in alignment, you attract things that are in that same frequency, that support your alignment. Now, remember, you're going to have the people and the things and the situations, the jobs that are in the old fishbowl that are going to try and tempt you back. You have to stay strong. It's easy to go back to what was comfortable, even if it was very uncomfortable. You kind of felt like you had adjusted, you had acclimated. Acclimation to the new fishbowl is a time, it takes time. You know how like when you take a goldfish out of a bowl and put them into another bowl, you have to float them so that they get acclimated to the temperature, so it doesn't send them into shock. You're still in the acclimation process of the new version of you, the new life you have created. Here's the Seven of Swords. Now you have the Two of Swords up here and you have Five of Swords here. That Five of Swords is self-sabotage. So don't self-sabotage and create that kind of blockage for yourself. It's okay to feel uncomfortable in the new life you are creating. It's okay. You need to give yourself time to acclimate. Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. Now your actions will be in alignment with the new version of yourself. And that's going to help move your connection forward. Because whatever you do for you, you do for your connection. And that's just, you know, kind of the as within, so without. Whatever you're doing for you is going to affect your connection. So if you are being authentic, then your connection will start to show some authenticity. Your counterpart will start to show authenticity. So whatever you do for you affects everything around you. Eight of Swords. We have a lot of swords. Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords, 10 of Swords, Seven of Swords. I mean, might even be a good poker hand. The Eight of Swords traditionally looks like you're trapped. You're kind of trapped in the old fishbowl. In this deck, the Eight of Swords are alignment. Your thoughts are in alignment. You're not trapped. There's no trapped. You're not trapped. You are now thinking as the new version of yourself, even though it's uncomfortable. Queen of Swords on the bottom. This is confirmation that this is the part of you that you're focusing on right now, is your authenticity. The Queen of Swords is authentic. She doesn't mince words. She speaks her truth. She is outrageously outspoken and open. She doesn't, nothing is left to be occluded. It is just transparent. This is my truth, and I'm not ashamed of it. All right. They want me to pull from another deck, so let's pull from the Good Tarot. I feel like there's a masculine component or a counterpart component, so this is the deck that I'm using. I'll put it there. It feels like there's more to the story here, so let me see what's going on. I feel like your authenticity is really overpowering to those around you now. It's like they're so used to the old you, the old version of who you were. And now that you're like, this is who I am. It just, those around you, this could be colleagues, friends, co-workers, family, those around you are feeling a bit unsettled by your new brazen openness, this outrageous openness. It's just like, I'm not going to hide my truth anymore. I'm not going to pretend that authentic part of me doesn't exist to make other people comfortable. Okay, Two of Fire. Let me pull all the cards and then I'll interpret. This feels like for the masculine. I've got Mr. Sam, the cat. Mr. Sam, you want to come up? I don't know if you remember Sam, but it was well over a year ago. I was house sitting, and Mr. Sam would sit on the table while I pulled the readings. Well, he's here visiting, all the way from Virginia. Yeah. Okay, I remember that card. Oh, yeah, there we go. Tower card. Hi, Sam. Okay. So for the counterpart energy, the cards that I have are the Two of Wands and the Page of Wands. This feels like the energy to me is the new version of you, and the energy that you are in is starting to affect their kind of path. It's almost like they can feel it. They can feel the urge to be more authentic, just like you. It's like you're the pioneer. And then you have this Page of Wands. And it's almost like, I really want to learn how to align my actions with my authentic self. So this is all about changing the way they're doing things, because they have not done things that have been in alignment. And it has kind of been very counterproductive for them. Okay, we have the next two is the Messenger of Water and the Tower card. Now look at the similarities of color here. This feels like kind of an emotional breakthrough through an emotional breakdown. And see this we've seen this card recently before. See that little seahorse? And then there's the Empress, Divine Feminine. And so it feels like the Divine Masculine counterpart, energy, not gender, is feeling rather small and insignificant and dull. There's no trappings, there's no enhancements. And but you see how beautiful the Empress is. And she's so in command. She's so comfortable in her emotional self now, her emotional body. And it's almost like they're kind of just small, and they feel very insignificant compared to the Divine Feminine. And so then we have this tower, and you notice this is very watery feeling energy. The tower being Scorpio energy, ruled by Mars. It's all about transformation. Could be about, something being deconstructed in order to be reconstructed. But to me, it feels like there's a deep emotional component here. And especially when they feel so emotionally insignificant, but then they have this tower energy. It's like there's almost an emotional breakdown because they feel so insignificant. They feel as though I'm getting a sense of failure. They feel a sense of failure. And that is leading them to say, you know what, I'm tired of trying to be somebody I'm not. Then we have the Three of Wands, which to me is, I want something different. I want to manifest something different. And then we have this Nine of Water in the reverse, Nine of Cups, which is emotional stability, self-satisfaction, self-awareness. In the reverse, they're not there. It's almost like they need to find themselves. They need to get to a point where they feel emotionally aligned with their authenticity. Oh boy, that's a big thought. Okay, Ten of Fire on the bottom. So we have the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords for the Divine Feminine energy. If you resonate with this as Divine Feminine, for the Divine Masculine, look at all he burning the pages of the past book. Just burning them. It's like, okay, I've had enough. Ten of Wands is, I can't continue to be what other people expect me to be. I need to start speaking my truth, because Divine Feminine is speaking her outrageous openness, being outspoken, and speaking her authentic truth. I told you that that's what would happen, and that's what's happening. Okay, that is the reading. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, I wish you health, happiness, and harmony. Namaste.